All right, we are at the top of the hour. Hi, I'm Jon Balter with Seamless Solutions. I was throwing this together so that we could go over some ways to use Teams, and I'll talk about Teams a little bit more and all that. Teams, which is really nice right now, Microsoft is giving to you for free. So instead of using a third-party application such as Zoom and things like that, you can actually get Teams. If you have 365, you already have the licensing. If you want to get it for free, you can actually just sign up for it for free. I'll show you the links that talk all about that kind of stuff. We're going to go through some pieces. And sorry about that. I had somebody who just, for some reason, it didn't mute, but I got it there. I'm actually using a Teams right now. You all joined a Teams session. I decided to do it as a small internal Teams instead of as a broadcast. I can do up to 300 participants in a Teams, which is nice. So it doesn't matter if, you know, how many people I have. I can do as many as I need to do in a team session. So here's our
participant is now exiting.
So here is our agenda for today. We're going to do, setting up a team meeting, the team options, the meeting options. Then we're going to go into some other items in Teams, a few tricks, the 365 licensing, and then we're going to end with Q&A. If you have any questions, you can always throw it in the chat box, and I will try to get them at the end. I can also unmute you, or you can unmute yourself at the end, and you can ask any questions that you have. All right, so let's just hop into this. Let's get started. All right, so in Teams, I can do a Teams meeting in a couple of different ways. The way that a lot of people do it is they create a calendar invite, and that calendar invite, then you click on the Teams meeting and it adds that. So if I were to share my screen so that we actually have a live version of this, if I was in Outlook, I could do new appointment, and then in that appointment, there's this Teams button. And that Teams button will add all the pertinent information at the bottom. Now, my licensing has the teleconferencing piece on there, so it adds the phone number and the conference bridge so that if you don't have Teams and you want to call in, you can call in using that. But if you don't pay for that additional piece, then what would be down here is you'd have to have a microphone and a keyboard, or a microphone and a speakers to be able to do it and use your onboard handsets and stuff like that. The other way to do a Teams meeting
Sunil is now joining.
Is to go into my calendar in Teams, and I can actually just click Meet Now. And when I click that Meet Now, I can start a new Teams meeting right there. You can also see on my calendar, it shows that I've got a Teams meeting and I can join that Teams meeting. That's what we're in right now. All right. Also, when I'm in that Teams meeting, I can share my screen. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to stop sharing that and go back to that presentation. And so that's how to set up a Teams meeting. Super easy. Once you're in a Teams meeting, you can invite people in a calendar event. You can send it out to people outside your organization, people inside your organization, whoever you want to join that Teams meeting. So really simple and easy to use. So in Teams, when I created that piece, it lets me click on the options tab that's in that calendar invite. And in that options tab, it lets me do a couple things. So it lets me have a lobby. So the default is everybody goes into a lobby. I told on this one, I want everybody just to bypass the lobby. They can come straight into the Teams meeting. They don't need approval because this is just an open training class. So everybody can come in. Otherwise, you'd be sitting in a lobby waiting for me to admit everybody in or let everybody in one at a time. I decided just to let everybody in right now. Who can present? Only specific people. Only myself and Colleen Jarbo are able to present. So I locked it down so that nobody else can present. So really easy to set those settings and change them. In Teams, we have this little button, and that button is the three little dots, and it has all these different options. It lets you see notes and show meeting details, go to full screen. One of the features that I really like is this blur the background. I have it on don't blur the background. That's because I normally use it. So when I share my video, if I have it set to start video with blur, and now when I share my my video with that, you'll notice that my background behind me is all blurred out. So everything behind me is blurred out. So if you're working from home, which a lot of us are, and we don't necessarily want people to see what's on our walls and things like that, that blurred background is a really nice feature. So, and then you can, if you don't want it, you can turn off the don't blur, and you can see it's now a pretty area behind me. So with sharing, and it's really hard for me to show you this through a Teams meeting, so I just did a screenshot of it, but you can share anything you want. So right now I'm sharing actually a PowerPoint. So I'm just sharing just the PowerPoint to you. And then nothing else on my screen is being shown at the same time. If I want to, I can share my desktop, or I can share a window inside that desktop, or a specific window that I want to share. So it's really nice that I can share whichever monitor I want to share, or flip between the two through my sharing. So I have two monitors, so I can share either desktop. One of the features that's really great in Teams is, I know that a lot of us have been doing conference calls recently, and we're all gotten on a conference call where it sounds like our great grandmother decided to get on, doesn't know how to turn down her speaker, and she has, you know, that reverb between her phone and her speakers. So that mute all button next to your participants lets you mute everybody that's in the group. That's what I did here. Everybody's already muted. If you unmute yourself, of course, you can start talking again, but on the default, I set it up so that everybody comes in muted, and I'm able to mute everybody. So that's a really nice piece. That's where it's at. Everybody always wonders, where is it at? It's right next to participants when you're a presenter. It's at the presenter's level, and it's mute all, and it mutes everybody. When you click it, it'll even give you a little warning that you're going to mute everybody. So a few tricks. I am going to flip off of my presentation here, and I am going to share my desktop with you guys again. And this time, I'm going to show you some stuff inside of Teams. So Teams also lets you have individual groups inside of your company. So you can have different work groups inside your company. So like I have an IT team, I have an interterritorial contract team, I have the whole company as a team, and then I have my second IT group. So IT management and IT group are two separate groups. And then I have my warehouse group. So you can have as many of these groups as you want, and they're really easy to create. You just click down here and click create group. You can create a group and give it a code, but you can create groups really easy inside your organization. If you have the soft phone feature with the, this is an additional feature, so it doesn't come with the basic package. I just want you to know, but you can actually use it as a voice over IP phone system. One of the other features is it pulls in all your files. So your OneDrive and stuff like that is able to be pulled into Teams. One of the features that I added through this more apps down here is I added Planner. This is a feature of 365, depending on your licensing. It's really great for doing quick little things. So let me pull up my warehouse team here. I think I got a planner started here. So these are just little tasks that we have. You can move the task from one place to another. You know, it's really easy to move back and forth. We have some over here. Where's my other planner at? I had another planner here. It's this one, General Warehouse. So this is an inventory one. You can assign them. Real easy to create. You know, what do I want to do? What do I want? And then you can set a due date and assign it to somebody. You can also click on it after you add it, and you can add a whole bunch of other information, little tabs onto it and all kinds of stuff. Just makes a little task list for people to work with. If you make a mistake, easy to delete and clean up. By the way, these are shared between everybody. So you can add planner. Well, how do I add planner? These three little dots. So down here, when you click on three little dots, if I hadn't had planner there, it would have all that listed, and I could just grab that planner and drag it up to what I want to add. Teams is actually now integrating with a whole bunch of programs. I don't even know them all, but here's the list. So if you click on the three little dots and more apps, or down at the bottom, there's a big button for apps. And these are all the applications that Evernote, for example, SurveyMonkey. You know, I don't know all of these different companies, but there are a ton. Zendesk for those that do help desk type stuff. And that allows all the information from these different apps to come into your team. So you have like one window to view. Here's their top picks that they picked. Of course, Windows Dynamics is on there, but real easy to use. So just a little hint that it helps you out. Your activity tab up here will give you what your last couple activities were. And chat is the ability to chat amongst your team and other people. So if I needed to get in touch with Mike, I could hit him up. We had the Skeeters coming in, so I had him getting something ready for the Skeeters. If I needed to video chat with Mike, I could just click right here and I could video chat with him. So I could connect directly with Mike, know what's going on. I also know Mike's status. Right now, he's away from his desk, which is nice. And I can see that Charles is at his desk. I see a little green light, which means he's available. If you look in my little top corner up here, way up here, you'll see that I have a little dot, and that's because I've set myself to presenting, which means I don't want anybody to bother me. And when I do a presentation, it automatically sets me to this do not disturb, so that anybody that sends me a message, it'll still come through, but it won't pop up. So it'll be hidden until I finish the presentation, then it'll all come through at that time. You can do away, you can do you know, all these different things. I'm busy, available, and all the statuses are really easy to use. You can put a little note in here. I'm working for a living. It's my note for the day, and that'll show up for everybody to see. You can also interact with other companies. I interact with Microsoft as a guest, so I have two Teams pieces, but that's a little more complicated stuff. Not really going to go over that in this session. All right, let's go back to that PowerPoint slide. Oh, I was going to show you guys the licensing next. Let me just hop over there and I will show you that. So right now, Microsoft is offering free Teams to everybody. No commitment, no nothing, just completely free. It's going to give you this basic package of Teams.
Is now joining.
So it'll give us this basic package, absolutely free for Teams. So if you'd like it, you just have to go in, sign up for free, and get it. If you have any version of Microsoft already, Microsoft 365, you already have the Teams collaboration. So you'll have the chat feature, you'll have the Teams, maximum number of users. So you are limited to 300. It says unlimited here, but that's really not true. It's still 300. You can have as many messages and chats as you want, guest access, file attachments in the chat, can go up to 1 terabyte if you're getting it for free, only 2 gigs per user. You can do sharing. I'm not going to go through all these verbatim, but you can see down here, this is where things start to change. You can't schedule a meeting if you're getting the free version, and you can't do any recordings. So you have to have a paid version for that. And then additionally, you can't use all the functionality as you come down. There's some security pieces that are plugged in for the paid versions. But I know a lot of people right now are paying for 365 and not maybe using Teams. In Teams, everybody has a role. So I'm the organizer and presenter, and you can see all the things that presenters and organizers can do. And then the attendees, you guys can do some stuff, but not everything. That you can, like, you can't mute other participants. You guys can't remove other participants. You can't admit people from the lobby, things like that. You can't stop my recording. So that stuff's going to happen no matter what. Additionally, I put this link in there if you need additional training for teams. There's some videos, quick start videos and things like that that they have created that are really great. I come in here often for little tips and tricks that they go over from time to time. And if I ever have a question, it's really easy. Google works great too for finding out answers on Teams. A lot of people have been using Teams for a long time. All righty. I think I actually went through this even faster than I thought I would. So I'm actually going to open it up for questions if anybody has any. And if you do, you can unmute yourself and talk, or you can put it in the chat box, and I'm happy to answer it there. So far, I've got no questions. Nobody's got a question? Well, that's great. But Teams is super powerful, really easy to use, great little product. Microsoft is putting more and more research dollars into it. Oh, here we got a question. Does the Office 365 or Business Premium plans include a paid version of Teams? Yes, both of them do. Yes, they do. Business Premium, which is getting relabeled soon, but yes, it does include a paid version of Teams. It is included in your subscription, even on the Essentials package, which is the package below that. I share screenshots, images often, and I've gotten errors the last couple of times. Seen any updates on this? Make sure you have the most current version. That's probably the biggest hint there that I can give you. If you have the most current version of Teams, it really it helps out.